Welcome into the Hawks Nest here on this Wednesday night for OCAA men's basketball. It's one of the biggest rivalries in college sports, and we get it here tonight. It's the Humber Hawks versus the Sheridan Bruins. The first of two meetings between these two teams as we welcome you inside this packed Hawks Nest. Kyle Dalton alongside Matt Hamill with you here tonight. The Humber Hawks coming to this one. They haven't lost a regular season home game since November 2023, and they're hoping to keep that going. For more on tonight's game, quickly over to Zach Benoit.
Thank you, guys. Yes, this is the biggest game on the schedule every single year. It's the rivalry game. These two teams have been battling it out for decades. The all-time record, 66-66. The winner, well, they'll have the bragging rights here in this one. The Hawks 3-0. They've been riding the hot hand of the reigning OCAA Player of the Year. Malik Grant dropped 28 in his last game. He has been absolutely lethal. The Bruins, they're coming in hot though, 2-1 with a victory against Niagara their last time out. What can you ask for on a beautiful Wednesday night than a rivalry game? With more on it, throwing it back to you guys.
It's one, Zach, that is circled on the calendar at the start of the season. We'll step aside momentarily for our player introductions.
Hello and welcome to the Nest here at the Humber Athletic Center for the game featuring the visiting Sheridan Bruins and your Humber Hawks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your officials for the game. Dan Este, Seth Schwartz, and the crew chief, Fei Shang. Now time to welcome the starting five for both the teams. Firstly, for the visiting Sheridan Bruins. Leading off from Mississauga, a 6-foot point guard. Number 2, Naheem Davidson. From Brampton, a 6'5" forward. Number 8, Shakir Yakubu. From Brampton, 5'11" guard. Number 25, Tyrell Dennis. From Lagos, 6'4" forward. Number 33, Tosin Shadere. And from Brampton, 6'5" shooting guard. Number 42, Travis Cloden. Head coach for the Bruins, Jim Flack. All right, Hawks Nation, please welcome the starting five put together by the head coach, Omar Miles. Leading off from Brampton, a 6'7" small forward, number 5, Malik Grant. From Hamilton, 6'3" shooting guard, number 8, Isaiah Brady Clark. From Rexdale, 6-foot point guard, number 12, Kwabena Atwi. From Toronto, a 6'7" small forward, number 23, Benny Kazade. And from Whitby, 6'4" shooting guard, number 24, DJ Burke.
All right, starting lineups are set. One
Yes,
of the biggest
sir.
rivalries in the OCAA. Matt, what's your take here? Humber Sheridan for the first time this season.
Yeah, you mentioned the rivalry aspect, and for Sheridan to get to come into the Hawks Nest and look to hand Humber their first loss in a hot minute. I mean, Humber went undefeated at the national tournament, and the result was CCAA gold. And now the Hawks off to an unbeaten start. Sheridan comes in 2-1. Opening tip-off right here.
And we're underway. Kwabena Antwi will control. And we're off and running on the inside. Malik Grant. A lot of contact down low. Swing pass, extra pass. Brady Clark, the triple. Doesn't go. Long rebound. Scooped up by Tyrell Dennis. It's a deep triple for Yakubu. Doesn't go. Rebound right there. And controlled here by DJ Burke. Quickly ahead to Antwi as both teams come up empty on their first possessions. Brady Clark, the reverse doesn't go.
High flying action out the gate here. Both teams, though, still looking for that first bucket.
Shakir Yakubu, who just turned over that pass, number 8 there. Matt, the leading scorer on this team, 17 points per game. Came over from BC, played a couple years out there, and in his first year with the Bruins has been a huge impact.
And especially with the three-pointers, Kyle. We're looking at 2 of the top 3 teams in the OCAA in terms of three-point percentage. And what a block there.
And Grant's gonna throw it down to start it off. You said on the back end of that play, it's DJ Burke with a huge block, leads to the point.
Yeah, defense leading to offense there. One high impact play in one end, and then the finish. Uncontested dunk from Grant.
Yakubu with a tough shot. An 0 for start for number 8.
Yeah, and that possession there following up that turnover. Well, I guess the block, but before that, a turnover. So a little discombobulated, the Bruins out of the gate in terms of their offensive zone play.
Start with a press here as DJ Burke quickly ahead to Brady Clark from the elbow. Doesn't go. Rough start so far for Brady Clark, 0 for 3 from the field. As Antwi will slow things down with 8 on the shot clock. Looking for a screen. Find Brady Clark. Extra pass for Grant. Swings it to DJ Burke. That one is short. Air ball, shot clock violation. Matt, this is a different Humber team, of course, than it was last year. As we get a look here at the first bucket of the game, so far the difference, Malik Grant.
Yeah, not a bad way to open the scoring in this one, and maybe a sign of things to come, as we do expect a very entertaining matchup here.
Rebound there for Kazadi. Here's Antwi in the corner. Back of the top, Brady Clark. DJ Burke getting some run here. 4 straight starts to begin the season for DJ Burke as Malik Grant the triple. It's money. A hot start for Malik Grant, a 5-0 sprint.
Yeah, solid work there. Carrying a bit of an offensive load is number 5 early in this one.
Here's Clouden, Travis Clouden, one of the veterans on this Bruins team. On the inside, good spin move there by Shadare. And the first bucket of the game for the Bruins.
Yeah, and that's big for this Sheridan team, just to kind of get that momentum going, get their rhythm set offensively, get that first bucket behind them.
Here's Antwi, the quarterback of this offense. And quickly ahead, Bruins wanted an offensive foul. They didn't get it, but the rebound comes over to Yakubu. Looking for some help, he'll find number 25, Tyrell Dennis, the point guard. Nifty move here by Dennis, swing pass for Clouden. He'll go from the elbow, that's way off. And DJ Burke will scoop up another rebound. Brady Clark taking some contact, but he jammed it up against the backboard. And that's gonna lead to an early substitution coming here, Matt.
Yeah, it looks like J.R. Harewood will be checking in shortly.
Yeah, rough start here for Brady Clark out of the gate. A foul and a few miss one, and he'll check out here for J.R. Harewood, like you said. But Matt, just touch on the last point here. A different group for this Hawks team, as we know. No Jalen Menzies, no Cameron David, 2 veterans on this team that were a big part of the national championship team. 2 starters.
Yeah.
So some opportunities for guys like DJ Burke to step in and make an impact right away.
Yeah, and it also seemed like it was Grant's last year with the Hawks. At least that's how it was billed at the end of last season. But for him to be back, that's a huge piece of continuity. But you could imagine the shakeup had he not returned at any rate, a deep roster. Guys like Kwabena Antwi with the ball right now. Such solid players. A Louis, which, you know, you saw his impact in the national championship tournament. The role he played in securing this team a national gold. So ultimately, kind of year to year, you see that shakeup, Kyle,
Yeah.
but the Hawks have certainly transitioned nicely here, especially hanging on to Grant.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a deep team for sure, but Grant, that impact is a huge difference having him compared to not having him. You know, reigning OCAA Player of the Year, Malik Grant, and he's arguably off to a better start than he did last year. Right now scoring just over 18 points per game. Last year in his Player of the Year averaged 16 points per game, so a really nice start for Grant.
Yeah, able to push that Humber lead up to 5 now.
So slow start offensively for the Bruins. And that will continue with a turnover, a couple of substitutions. Naheem Davidson with a turnover looking for Edward Liu, and they couldn't connect.
Yeah, almost a high impact play at the scorers table. Had some of the varsity operations team members
Heads up
a
down
little
there.
afraid of a incoming collision.
Here's Grant, good pass on the inside for Louis. That's a strong finish down low for the big man.
Yeah, I mean, 6'6" and just able to get so much done down low, and he's the perennial field goal percentage leader in the OCAA for a reason.
And it's Clouden on the inside. A nice finish by number 42. He was the star player for this Bruins team and is still one of the top players, but with the addition of Yakubu, it's a nice 1-2 punch for the Bruins, as this one's going to be off of Burke, and a turnover here for the Hawks.
Yakubu with a solid job, doing enough to cause the turnover.
Lou trying to get the ball in here. Good defense from J.R. Harewood. Here's Davidson. Swing pass to Clouden, thought about a triple. Looking for Yakubu now, settle it down with 10 on the shot clock. Davidson. Good defense here from the Hawks. Yakubu, step back triple over Grant. That's a tough shot, it doesn't go. Rebound for Antwi. Kwabena Antwi right at Clouden with the left hand, doesn't go, but he will pick up a couple free throws and some good defense on one end, Matt.
No question. And Antwi will shoot some free throws, and he is an electric player to watch. We'll see what he has in his back pocket for this rivalry matchup. You see on that near bottom side of your screen, fans continuing to fill up the main seating area. Always a well-attended affair. The energy in the gym helping to bring the best out of these players.
Antwi's free throw doesn't go. It's usually a 50-50 split for Antwi in his career from the free throw line. This year, under the 50% mark, shooting at 41 from the charity strike. But there's your 1 out of 2 for number 12, and he'll sub out for Christian Desjardins, gets his first look of the game.
And a 6-point difference is what we're working with. So Sheridan still only the 4 points to show for the first 5 minutes of play.
Here's Yakubu looking for his first bucket. It doesn't go. Rebound. Adrian Aluyi quickly ahead for Grant. And his pass. There's maybe some miscommunication with Desjardins. It's a turnover. Here's Lou back the other way for the Bruins. These are two teams, Matt, that turn over the ball at a pretty high rate. They average about 20 turnovers per game on both sides. Triple here. That one's no good. The rebound inside. And it's Travis Clouden who picks up his second bucket. Both these teams, sorry, Matt.
No.
I was going to say both these teams average a lot of turnovers, but they're really good at forcing turnovers, as we see one right here. It's Yakubu on the inside, blocked by Ndongo.
Yeah, solid defensive play there. That's going to spark a quick charge back the other way.
That's Desjardins, and that's turned away on the inside by Shadare. And that allows the Bruins to come back to it. Another turnover, this one for Ndongo. It's a 2-on-1 with Aluyi. Aluyi will take it himself, doesn't go, and Ndongo, his own rebound, puts it up and in.
Yeah, solid finish in the second chance opportunity, and Humber able to just keep matriculating some offense on the board, while Sheridan, a team that scored 30 points in the first quarter of their last game, in that 100-90 victory over Niagara, just really coming out a little flat offensively out the gate.
On the inside, oh my, that's Clouden gets fouled. What a heck of an athletic play there by Nathan Waite.
Yeah, he came in with a good effort, but a lot of contact there, so that'll be some free throws from a young man we've certainly gotten used to seeing here on this rivalry matchup over the years.
Yeah, Travis Clouden indeed, and off to a good start here. He's got 5 of the 6, or rather 5 of the 7 Bruins points. Good trip to the line for Clouden, and leads cut to 4 with under 4 to go here in the first quarter. Harewood just in time for Desjardins. He'll wait for Waite. Here's Desjardins. Waite, he'll try the triple, doesn't go. J.R. Harewood gets up there and grabs the rebound. 10 seconds on the shot clock, looking for Ndongo. But Matt, another turnover for the Hawks here in the first quarter.
Yeah, despite the effort there by Harewood, who elevated to get that ball back under control, the Hawks do cough it back up. And just a 4-point difference as Sheridan looks to tighten that gap.
Clouden nearly got stripped, but looks like Waite there's going to get called for the reach in. A quick 2 fouls for number 11.
And he'll stay in the game here as we've got just about 3:30 left in the first. I may have spoken too soon, as it does appear a substitution is about to be made with Amari Anderson, first-year player, coming in for Humber.
Big presence there, number 21.
Yeah, 6'9".
Second appearance this season for Amari Anderson. Billy Rand in for Lou, fake the triple. Dish it out here, back on the inside, stripped away by the Hawks, good defense. And it's Anderson just checking into the game, coming back the other way. Anderson spins away, swings to Desjardins, back to Ndongo on the inside, and he lays it up and in.
Nicely done, the finish. And that's going to give Humber a little bit more of that separation, the 6-point difference right now.
Hector Ndongo, the second-year man. Here's Lou now. Over to Clouden. 6-point game. His pass out of the reach of Billy Rand.
Wow.
Saved behind the backboard, but Desjardins able to come up with it. And a transition foul is going to be called on Lou. Sheridan with a couple fouls to give here, so side out of bounds with 2:45 to go here in the first quarter. Matt, we've got a timeout on the floor with the Hawks leading by 6.
Yeah, here you see Coach Jim Flack, 32 years as head coach of this program. So I guess that stands to reason. The year I was born, Jim Flack took over at the head coaching role with the Bruins and held it down. And they've certainly seen their share of success in that time frame. And, you know, on the other side, Kyle, head coach Omar Miles for Humber, 5th year with the program. And count them, 2 national championships. He's bookended his Humber career thus far with those national championships, coming right out the gate with that CCAA gold on home turf as the Hawks hosted the national tournament that year. And now, just last year, the same result. So looking to keep not only the undefeated regular season record alive here, but also keep the sights set on the ultimate prize as you look deeper in the season.
18-0 regular season last year.
Yeah.
Just coming up a little bit short in the provincial championship game in a thriller against Durham. But then, of course, beating Durham in the national championship game, get a little bit of revenge. And get another banner up here in the Hawks' Nest.
Yeah,
Side
that's
out.
right.
2:45 to go. A pretty fast-paced first quarter. Here's Andongo. Quickly to a Louis. Swing past Desjardins. Good defense from Billy Rand, but nice play by Desjardins on the inside. Can't finish it. Ruled off the rim. Anderson. Desjardins, 10 on the shot clock. Andongo. Good extra pass to a Louis. That one doesn't go. It bounced off the rim again. Couple good chances for the Hawks, and it's Clouden on the transition back the other way. That might have caught the scoreboard or the clock up top, but looks like Clouden's going to be awarded with a point.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if anybody got a piece of that. Just somehow he played that shot that high, and you'll have to count it. 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter, and just a 4-point difference now.
And blocked by Clouden. He's been all over the floor as Desjardins will foul him.
Wow.
Hawks with a foul to give. But Travis Clouden, 8 of the 10 points for the Bruins, and doing it on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, good things come in threes, and for Clouden, it was the bucket on one end, the defensive stop, and then drawing the foul. So all working out for the team wearing double blue here tonight as they look to narrow the gap.
Here's Billaran. Billaran on the inside. Ball's bouncing around, and it finds Andongo, who's standing at the free throw line. Now he goes back the other way and gets fouled. And a couple free throws coming for the sophomore, Victor Andongo.
You know, Kyle, this is such a tight matchup as we have the 3-0 Humber Hawks. And yeah, we mentioned that the Bruins do have that one loss. It was a tight one against a very tough Mohawk Mountaineers team. That was a 78-75 result. So, I mean, Bruins are that close to being undefeated on the season. We're talking all teams that are right up there in those OCAA rankings.
Andongo at the line. Lucas Lewis checking in as well for the first time here tonight, as the first one is off the mark for Andongo. And 50% from the line for Andongo. Hawks struggle from the free throw line. They have the past few seasons. They're ranked 13th in the league. Free throw percentage at just over 55%. And Andongo makes right of that with 1 of 2 for the line, and a foul here. And not a good one, as it'll be bonus time for the Bruins. And a 5-point game stops the clock.
Well, Kyle, it's been really both games so far, not exactly the kind of offensive fluidity you might expect. And so far for Sheridan, it's been just a little tough out of the gates here in the first quarter to get locked in. Again, especially after their previous game where they put up 30 in the opening frame. And so trying to readjust against a Humber team that is tough defensively for sure.
There's J.R. Harewood, 5 bench players on the floor here for the Hawks. All 5 starters taking a rest. Here's Liu. It's Clouden. Thought about a triple. He'll cut on the inside. Liu turning around. It's a triple here for Miller. Too strong. Rebound on the inside, and another second chance for Liu with a triple. That one doesn't go. Lewis flies in for the rebound. Getting stung around there as that one goes up and in, and it's Miller on the back end of the play. Not 2, but 3 chances for the Bruins, and it's Miller on the back end, and that leads to a timeout from Omar Miles. And we've got a 1-point game here late in the first.
Yeah, it took 3, maybe 4 cracks at it to come away with the bucket there. My goodness. And, you know, Kyle, it's been tough sledding, but some players have been able to just will it into existence. We saw Clouden earlier in this one with a strong finish. Now his teammates coming in. And Kyle, we now see the game just a 1-point difference here. And it's just been, again, we can talk about some of the slower start energy for Sheridan offensively, but you'd have to charge Humber with the same crime here. It's just been a bit difficult to get in rhythm. A lot of balls for Humber that have just kind of been hanging on that rim. Kind of unfortunate, but It's a close one here with 40 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Humber ranked as the third best defensive team coming to this one. In terms of field goal percentage, they only give up about 35% from the field. And the Bruins are doing a good job on the inside, getting those second chance opportunities. But we know head coach Omar Miles likes to go deep into that bench. He's not afraid to go into 10, 12 players during one game, and we've seen that on display already as Austin Jackson, the first-year man, checks in. Here he is with the ball now, Austin Jackson. Here's J.R. Harewood. Fourth year. On the inside, nice finish. It's Austin Jackson, his first bucket in the OCAA for number 10 in his first year with the program.
Yeah, great to see a first-year guy making an impact in a tightly contested rivalry matchup.
Here's Clouden. Nice pass on the inside for Billy Rand. Can't scoop it up and in. Rebound finds Clouden. Here's Miller.
Yeah, 3-ball would tie it up here in the dying seconds.
1 on the shot clock. Leo had to just put something up quickly. It doesn't go, and now it's Lewis back the other way. Here's J.R. Harewood. And that's going to do it, as not only the shot clock run out at one end, but the game clock runs out on the Hawks on the other end. But Humber leads this one by a score of 17-14 after 1 quarter of play. The offense for both sides, Matt, stagnant at times, but maybe both teams just trying to pick up their legs here as this one gets going.
Yeah, Kyle, it's been, you know, you look outside and it's just been one of those nasty autumn days, the wind warnings, the rain, and, you know, sometimes that can lead to kind of a low-tempo day. And it's kind of seeing that a bit reflected in the contest here, not just this one, the women's game as well, where just some, let's call it not so tight play, and it's led to a fairly low-scoring outcome after 10 minutes. Humber with a narrow 3-point lead. Leading the way with 5 points each are Malik Grant and Victor Ndongo. On the other side, Kyle, 8 points for Travis Clouden, and that's not only a team high, a game high. And Kyle, for two teams that are in the top 3 of 3-point shooting percentage, both teams collectively are 1 for 10. Sheridan being 0 for 5 there. So again, just not kind of the typical performance you'd expect out of these teams after 1 quarter, but who knows? Maybe we're still feeling things out.
Sheridan, one of the better defenders as a team from distance. They only average about 24% of their opponent's 3-point percent. So that is showing here tonight. One other thing to watch out for, Matt, Shakir Yakubu coming to this one, averaging 17 points per game, including a couple 20-point performances so far this season. Held scoreless in the first quarter, 0 of 6 from the field. But Travis Clouden really picked up some of the slack there, as they'll both be on the bench to begin the second quarter. So Moran will pick up his first foul and a substitution 5 seconds into the second quarter, Matt, as DJ Burke comes in. Moran will check out and straddling the line. There was Tyrell Dennis, and it won't matter as Yakubu couldn't hang on to that one. Pardon me, Yakubu started on the floor here in the second quarter, still looking for his first bucket of the game.
And we'll see who draws first blood here in the second quarter with the scoring. Grant thought about firing one from deep.
Here's a chance now for Jackson, the triple. Feeling good in his first game, doesn't go. And it's Dennis thought about it. Now he'll drive on the inside. Quickly out for Chisholm, doesn't go. Rebound for Grant. Big man gets up there ahead to DJ Burke. The mismatch down low, and he takes advantage. DJ Burke on the board here in a 5-point lead.
Yeah, solid effort there, and then we'll kind of open things up here in the second frame. Hawks transition now on their own end.
Yakubu, that is smooth from Shakir Yakubu on the board for the first time. Cuts the lead to 3.
Yeah, that's the kind of smooth play you expect from the team's leading scorer, averaging 17 per game. And like you said, a slow start, maybe getting things fired up here.
Austin Jackson, oh, the first-year man putting on a show. He's got the skill, you could see that. And another bucket for number 10. Here's Dennis. Good defense from DJ Burke, strips it away from Dennis, and he'll lay it up and in.
Wow, how about that? Quick run of points here for the Hawks.
DJ Burke comes away with the steal on the bucket on the other end. Looking for another one with the help from Jackson. Quickly ahead and throwing it down. Kazadi gets some energy going here in the Hawks' nest. It's the largest lead of the game, 25-16, timeout on the floor.
Hey, you got the largest crowd of the year, so why not give them something to cheer about? And that kind of turned the temperature up a little bit. Big response with the slam, and just, again, the flurry of offense from Humber as Sheridan continues to look for answers in terms of keeping up here. They got 2 points in this quarter to Humber's 8. And how's that for a finish? Testing the structural integrity of that rim. Holds up that time.
Hey, Malik Grant loving that one on the back end of it. But it's defense to offense. That's the mojo of this team. They start on the defensive end. It leads to transition basketball. But right now, the Bruins are going to have to find an answer in the offensive end without Clouden in the game. Didn't start the second quarter. We'll see when head coach Jim Flack decides to put out his top scorer again. And it looks like it's going to be not just yet, as Clouden having a seat just in front of us. And here's Chisholm. Pass ahead, but stepping out of bounds was Rose. Turnover for the Bruins coming out of the timeout, and Matt right on cue. Travis Clouden checks back in.
And Sheridan hoping to turn the tide a little bit. You know, you call the timeout, Kyle, you hope for a good play to kind of get the momentum back in your favor, but they step out of bounds, and that's going to be Humber with a chance to respond.
Kazadi at the top. Over to Malik Grant. 5 points in that first quarter. DJ Burke tried to swing it back to Grant, but turned it over. Chisholm. Chisholm driving through the D and lays it up and in through the contact for Tyler Chisholm, his first bucket. 7-point ball game. DJ Burke. Good first quarter for the rookie Anderson with 10. Here's Grant. Another triple. That one doesn't go. Contact down low. And it looks like a foul here, Matt, against, looks like it's going to go against the Bruins, and it will. On Yakubu.
And that will give Humber another crack at it. That's Yakubu's second foul of the game. Kyle, does that mean he's getting subbed out? It appears so. Into the game in his stead is Shadare.
Yeah, slow start for Yakubu. Only 2 points. You saw that bucket to begin the second quarter. So Yakubu out, like you mentioned, Matt, with the 2 fouls. And we've got an offensive foul. Looks like that was on DJ Burke.
Yeah, giving it right back. So teams kind of trading fouls. Doesn't give Humber a chance to capitalize. And a 7-point lead is what they'll take back into the defensive end.
So a couple starters checking back in, or you could. Antwi, Brady Clark, Aluyi back into the game for the Hawks.
Yeah, strong lineup here for the Hawks. Let's see if they can get dialed in. We mentioned for Isaiah Brady Clark, not the best start to the game. Missed a couple of field goals to open things up. Let's see if he's kind of dialed back in here.
Swarming defense from the Hawks, but the Bruins can escape. They got a shot off. Doesn't go. Here's Chisholm. It's Dennis along. Triple. Doesn't go, but it's a foul on Antwi. And 3 shots coming up for the Bruins as Tyrell Dennis, a 73% free throw shooter, will head to the line.
The Bruins are second in the OCAA in three-point shooting percentage. And hey, if you can't knock it down on that second attempt, why not just try to get them from the free throw line? So far, so good with free throw number 2 coming up. And looking like Tyrell Dennis on pace to just get those 3 points. And I gave him the kibosh.
2 of 3 on the trip for Dennis. And Antwi will bring it across the timeline here. 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Hawks lead by 5. It's a long triple for Casaldi, and it's a confident stroke for number 23. Doesn't shoot many of them from distance, but he makes that one.
Yeah, Casaldi, just an excellent finish. And how's that to answer? Right back to those points that Sheridan just mustered. And there's the counter punch by the Bruins.
And it's number 25, Tyrell Dennis with contact. Back-to-back possessions for Dennis. And this time, Matt, he's looking for the 3-point play. This time the old-fashioned way.
So both teams really starting to heat up a little bit offensively. We'll see if that continues.
Another missed free throw for Dennis. Here's Antwi. Over to Malik Grant on the near side. Antwi bobbled it, able to find Brady Clark to Grant. Swing pass, Kazadi. Brady Clark, extra pass, Antwi. Cut on the inside, doesn't go, but he'll head to the line as Chisholm will pick up the foul. And 2 free throws coming up for Kwabena Antwi.
Antwi, yeah, doing what he does best. Just push the pace, explode to the hoop, and able to draw the Bruins into the foul.
So that foul actually went on Tyrell Dennis. That'll be his first as Antwi can't make the first free throw. 1 for 3 on the game from the line for the third-year man. And misses both. Rebound for Shadare. Here's Clouden. Game high for Travis Clouden. Chisholm on the inside. It's an offensive foul. As it's DJ Burke making an impact here tonight. The second-year man, Matt, coming off the bench all of last year. 4 straight starts for DJ Burke. Off to a nice start.
Yeah, and how's that for putting the body on the line, and to great effect as Humber able to get the ball back, see if they can capitalize.
Antwi thought about the triple, and that's going to be off the hands of Dyson Rose, and it'll stay with Humber here with 14 on the shot clock, under 6 to go in the first half.
Antwi will inbound it here, and Humber looking to get some of that offensive mojo back. On a little bit flat here.
Kazadi, DJ Burke on the inside, a strong finish.
Yeah, that's huge. Again, you mentioned the play in the defensive end to go back and get the points. Strong contribution from number 24. That's kind of been a theme here in this next season here we've been seeing.
Here's Rose. Swing pass, Dennis a deep triple, too strong. Rebound for Kazadi, he might take it himself. A lot of contact. And Kazadi will head to the line.
Yeah, so again, another big play from that young man, as this has really helped lift the Hawks here in the second quarter, as the lead is getting a little more of a cushion here. Kazadi with the chance to give Humber a 10-point lead if he can knock both of these down.
Benny Kazadi, first year with the Hawks. And this guy's a player, man. He can really get up and down the floor. And you can tell the athleticism number 23. First year with the team, 4 starts. So head coach Omar Miles put in the trust into Kazadi, and you can count the bucket, but it'll be a foul. Looks like that one's on Aluyi. So the bucket does count, 32-22. But a little bit of a bad foul there, man, as that will lead to bonus free throws, and the clock doesn't move.
And Clouden, we mentioned, with a solid first quarter where he put up 8 points, and just getting to pad that stat with the free throws here.
And a good trip from Clouden.
Yeah, and that'll take those 2 free throws from Kazadi right off the board.
Clouden had 20 points, as this one's going to be off of Rose and out of bounds. But Clouden had 20 points, Matt, in the victory for Sheridan over Niagara, their last victory. So he's definitely been an impact so far this season, and off to a good start here tonight for the Bruins. Here's Burke. Grant, good pass for Louis. Can't finish. But, Matt, that's the set play that they love against the zone. Grant right in the middle, and then they find a Louis who they both look at each other.
And Grant giving him some pointers, it seems like. Maybe wanting that finish in there with a smile on his face, as Grant will watch his teammate try to knock down these free throws.
I think Grant knows Louis can finish it that strong.
Well, that's the 1-2 punch, Kyle. You look at Grant, he's averaging just about 19 points per game, and Aluyi right behind him in second in team scoring with 13 per game. So much of his contribution is down low, finishing those buckets, throw in a couple of dunks per game. That's what Aluyi will time and time again bring to the table.
Miller on the inside, good play by Aluyi, but now it's turned over. Rather, that was Antwi, and the scoop and score by Rose.
And it looks like Coach Omar Miles getting ready to make a substitution, with Lucas Lewis getting ready to pop in.
Antwi. Here's Grant. Good matchup here, Grant versus Clouden. Grant up against Clouden. There's some reaching foul there. An easy one for the official. But Matt, star against star. Clouden and Grant going up out of the top of the key, and Clouden picks up the foul. Matt, you talked about Aluyi picking up some of the points so far this season. And, you know, without Jalen Menzies in there, who averaged over 16 points per game for the last few seasons, it's more shots to go around and more opportunities for a guy like Aluyi, who's off to a good start this season.
Yeah, last time Aluyi played the Bruins towards the end of the regular season last year, he had a double-double. And so he knows that he can make a big impact in a game against the Bruins.
Dallas Francis checking into the game, number 0 for the Bruins. And it's Clouden who gets turned away by Kaladi, and now it's Grant back the other way. Quickly ahead, Antwi scoop, but it hit the shot clock on top of the net. And a turnover here for the Hawks. 10-point ball game with 4 to go in the first half.
So Desjardins is back in the mix for Humber here.
Francis, Liu, over to Rose. Francis, Rose, cutting on the inside. We're gonna get a travel. Too many steps for Dyson Rose.
Nobody there to inbound it, so Christian jumps back to get the play started.
And here's Desjardins now. Burke. Swing pass. Lewis had trouble with it a little, but he'll corral it with under 10 on the shot clock. Kaladi. And he will travel. So back-to-back turnovers from both sides. Some sloppy offense here in the last few possessions leads to a couple turnovers.
Kyle, I won't bore you with getting deeper into my theory about how the weather impacts performance, but
what about daylight savings? Does that impact
hey, I think,
at all?
Wow, you know what? It's a solid point, except we did gain an hour of sleep, so that shouldn't mess things up too
you're
much.
Sleeping more.
But technically it is 9:45 right now. At any rate, Kyle Clouden back with it.
Can't finish. As Kaladi, the athleticism on the inside, turns it away. Here's Grant. Transition triple. Just a tad short. Rebound scooped up by Rose. He'll slow down the transition, wait for some help. And he'll find Francis. Francis on the inside, he gets hacked. And with the Bruins in bonus time, they will head to the free throw line as Dallas Francis will head there for the first time. And Matt, a little bit of tough stretch there for Waite. Had the 2 fouls earlier in that first quarter and then just checked in, picked up another foul, and now he'll check out.
Yeah, you get the impression that there's a chance this game just might not be a pretty one, in which team is just able to grind out a W. So far, Humber has been able to establish a kind of 10-point cushion that they've been rocking with for a good amount of time now. Let's see if they can either add to that here.
Francis went 0 of 2 on that trip on the free throw line, and Clouden takes the offensive foul as Kaladi gets charged with it. His second charge of the game for Clouden.
And so Kazadi will head out for the moment as Lewis is in the game. You've got Ndongo in the mix.
Here's Billaran on the inside. Swing pass. Miller, the contested triple. That's on top of the backboard. Tough shot with 2 players right on him. Here's Desjardins. Ndongo in the corner. He'll cut it on the inside. Swing pass, J.R. Harewood. Grant. Ndongo back to Grant. He'll take the midi from the elbow. Just a little bit off. Lewis with a good rebound. He'll go up against Miller, and that'll be off the leg of Lewis. And Bruins basketball, couple opportunities, Matt, for the Hawks, but they come up empty.
And getting into the kind of last 2 minutes and change of this first half, which team can sort of maybe put a little bit of a statement together as we see this 10-point game get deeper and deeper into it.
Yakubu. Francis. Bruins got to find a way to get Yakubu going as Clouden from the free throw line is a bit strong. Lewis with the rebound, quickly head over to Desjardins. And Ndongo in transition will scoop it up and in.
Woo. How's that? Coming in fast and getting that finish off the glass, but a quick transition for Sheridan.
And it's a quick one there for Cole Miller. Doesn't go. Pretty good three-point shooter on the season at 42%, but he's 0 of 3 tonight. As Desjardins step side triple, it's good. Christian Desjardins and the Hawks have their largest lead of the game. It's 15.
Yeah, just outstanding work there. A couple back-to-back buckets for Humber, although Sheridan will get a chance to respond with some free throws.
It's Billaran who will head to the line. Bruins are 0 of their last 4 from the free throw line, but it's Christian Desjardins who picks up the foul after picking up that nice step aside 3. So Billaran at the line. Good start to his season. Averaging about 8 points per game. His first free throw miss of the season. Come to this one 2 for 2, Matt. And makes do on his second. So under 90 seconds to go here in the first half. Humber has pulled away slightly in this second quarter. After leading by 3 after the first, they're up by 14. It's Antwi in the corner, and he puts it in on top of the head.
How about that? Antwi showing the versatility that he brings to the table. Big shot there.
Clouden responds. It's a long 2 for Travis Clouden, and it's a timeout on the floor. As head coach Omar Miles having a word with Antwi. I don't think he's congratulated him from his three-pointer. I think he's more concerned from the defensive side of the ball, but either way, it's Ndongo who sets up Antwi in the corner.
Well, Kyle, you know, you mentioned the sort of conversation there between Coach Miles and Antwi. So a big 3 made in one end, and then, yeah, Sheridan able to respond. And for a Bruins team that really has not had the offensive mojo, not to say Humber's been gangbusters and firing on all cylinders on that front either, but certainly having the edge and a 15-point lead as it stands right now. But you got to imagine for Humber, the big priority is defensive and first and foremost, and do not allow Sheridan to get in rhythm, because that will likely be Humber's best bet to keep the distance here.
Yeah, and they've done a good job at, like we mentioned a couple times, containing Shakir Yakubu. You know, Clouden has been good today. Let's give him credit. He's had his opportunities, and he kept, you know, the Bruins in it for the most part of this first half, but it's really been Clouden or nothing, and that's really been the issue right now. No secondary scoring outside of Clouden for the Bruins, and it's showing on the scoreboard right now as they trail by 15 with a minute to go here in the first half. Ndongo. Antwi, spin move on the inside. Kwabena, Antwi with a little bit of magic.
Yeah, now Sheridan's looking to, again, with less than a minute to go here, maybe find a response.
Pillaran botched the layup after a nice move on the inside. It's Ndongo. Lewis tried to keep it alive, but he threw it off himself. And good effort there by number 22.
Yeah, I mean, tough for Humber there, and Ndongo not able to just kind of get his balance under him. That was a little frantic the way they stretched the court a little ahead of themselves. And 30 seconds to go. Which team can head into half with a little bit of juice?
Miller will get fouled. Lewis thought it was a lot of ball. Looked like a little bit of both. And Miller, who has been off to a good start as well. He's one of the better three-point shooters in the league at 42% coming to this one. Still looking for his first bucket. And he'll have a chance to do it here at the line, as the first free throw is good. 23 seconds left, so the Hawks can hold on, Matt, for the final shot. Miller's second is good.
So I think we're going to see that, Kyle. Looks like a pretty measured pace from Antwi, taking it up the court. Just trying to get a good look.
Shot clock is off. Here's Antwi, 10 seconds to go. They find Malik Grant. Gets a good matchup here against Billaran. Cutting it on the inside, swing pass, Antwi triple is well short. And that will just about do it. That one won't count even if it goes. So the Hawks blow it open a little bit here in the second quarter. They trailed, or rather led by 3 heading into the second quarter. They lead by 15 after 2 quarters of play, Matt. The offense was there, but it's the defense for the Hawks that really stepped up in that second quarter.
No question, holding Sheridan to 31 points, and just outstanding play in that end. And we'll see how the second half plays out in this rivalry matchup as the fans head to take their break, and we'll take our break, Kyle, and excited to see half number 2 after the break.
Yeah, 15-point lead for the Hawks, and we'll have second half coverage coming up after this. And welcome back to the Hawks Nest. The second half action just about to get underway. Kyle Dalton alongside Matt Hamill. And our sideline reporter, Zach Benoit, who we'll hopefully hear from later on in this one. But Matt, Hawks leading by 15. What's your biggest takeaway after 20 minutes of play?
Well, you know, some of the stats are close, but when it comes to shooting percentage, Humber is outdoing Sheridan in basically every facet, both three-point shooting, free throws, and overall field goal percentage. And that's the kind of thing that'll give you a 15-point lead at halftime. See how Sheridan fights back here in what's been a very stale offensive effort thus far.
And that's a turnover. Goes back the other way for a Louis, who throws it down.
Yeah, another big one for Aluyi, and boy, oh boy, that seems to just be his bread and butter. And that time it seemed like it was a 4-on-0 with the Hawks charging down the court. Nothing to contest.
And Matt, 2 turnovers in 2 possessions for the Bruins. Head coach Jim Flack is not happy right now. He calls a timeout just 31 seconds into the second half.
Especially with a Sheridan Bruins team who came into this evening, Kyle. I mean, yeah, they had lost 1 game this year and blemishing that, well, would have been an undefeated record, but that was a close contest against Mohawk. Now coming in here against Humber, and it seems like if Sheridan doesn't tighten up and play the kind of ball they've played at times this year, this could be a lopsided loss and really just kind of change the flavor of how this team has looked coming out the gate.
And it's a Louis who, Matt, finished off one of the turnovers with a big throwdown. In that timeout, Matt, it's hard to not see it. The Bruins bench is sitting right in front of us. Head coach Jim Flack called that timeout, probably said about 1 or 2 words and then stepped aside and let the players talk it out.
You got to imagine a coach in his 32nd year knows a trick or 2 about how to get through to a team, and we'll see if that maybe wakes his squad up with a good defensive rebound to get their points starting to go here in the second half.
So they come out of it with a defensive stop, almost turned the ball over. Nice play there by Chisholm to keep it alive. Shadore, Clouden. He had 13 in the first half. It doesn't go. Weak side rebound finds a Louis. Quickly ahead off the fingertips of Shadore. Grant the triple, just a tad short. Rebound finds Yakubu, ahead for Chisholm. Chisholm, Clouden, and the extra pass is off the hand of Grant, and we'll stick with the Bruins.
Well, that last offensive possession for Sheridan certainly had a couple of dicey passes where it looked like they were going to turn it over. They were able to hang on to it for a little while.
Heads up, the ball finds the stands there.
Yeah, a little ricochet scenario off the foot of DJ Burke. But Sheridan's going to have to get themselves planted in here, and a team that shooting second in the OCAA in terms of three-point percentage, and to shoot 9% from beyond the arc in that first half. And not good here with a Sheridan player clearly in pain.
Shadore there. Look, it looked like a pretty awkward contact with Burke. And Shadore right now in, well, it seems like a lot of pain for the big man, number 33.
So teams will huddle up while the training staff takes a look. The injured young man, and as it sits right now, the lead for Humber has only grown here in the second half to 17 points now. But, you know, it hasn't really been a third quarter that has shown a lot of bright spots for Sheridan, right, Kyle? I mean, you know that they came into the third looking to turn things around, but right out of the jump, it's been all Hawks, and an injured Bruin is just kind of yet another factor as this team looks to get right. It's the big rivalry matchup, Kyle, and you know these fans want to see a close game, and thus far the Hawks have done enough to just have a very comfortable lead.
And Shadore is going to get some assistance here coming off the floor from a couple of his teammates. Putting some weight on that left leg, which is good to see, but not much.
And that is all good to see. He's getting off and will get checked out by the training staff, but unfortunately he's needing a lot of support, so we'll wish the best for this young man.
So Miller will check in
this
his
year.
place.
Sorry,
yeah.
partner.
No, all good. That's a, you know, good point. It's a big part of this Bruins team, so like you said, hope for the best. It's a big loss for the Bruins. Someone's got to step up here. Clouden will put that one in, bounces around and through. So Travis Clouden continues his hot streak. He's up to 15. Burke. Antwi to Louis, but out of his fingertips, turnover for the Hawks.
Well, that seemed like that pass had a lot of heat on it, as Antwi zipped it in there. Tough to grab on that occasion.
Here's Chisholm. Swing pass, Yakubu. Ball finds him back, but he looked like might have stepped out of bounds or bounced the ball off the line. Either way, it's a turnover. Another one here in the third, and it's Humber basketball.
Yeah, I think he caught that deflected pass just with his feet planted partly out of play. The teams in the first half, Kyle, pretty even Stevens in terms of the turnover rate. I think it was just Humber with more efficient shooting that were converting and ultimately enjoying a nice lead.
Antwi slips away from Clouden but can't finish. Rebound and scooped up here by Liu. Slowing things down, here's Clouden. Yakubu. Back to Liu. He'll take it himself. Good patience by number 5 for the Bruins, and the lead's cut to 13.
Yeah, Bruins are going to need some big defensive stands and just a lot more conversion in the offensive zone. We'll see how this deficit for the Bruins evolves here.
And Aluya comes up empty again. Good defense this time from Yakubu. As Miller will take it in transition, and the extra help. Aluya throws it away.
Yeah, that was nasty. Aluya right over top of it.
So Lewis into the game after the big denial from Aluya. Here's Chisholm. Miller, he's dangerous from 3 if he gets hot, but that one's short. Rebound, Antwi quickly away, 3-on-1. Antwi, Grant to Kazadi, but he can't finish it on the first chance and the second attempt.
Well, you know, Kyle, and
What the call is here.
I think and one.
And one.
Hey, if there's ever a time to miss a dunk, it's to turn it into a 3-point jam, which looks to be what we might have here.
I don't even think some of the Hawks players knew that was an and one, as saw Grant there running back in transition. But yeah, you said it. One way to do it.
Softens the blow if your teammates are going to tease you later. You go, hey, we got 3 points out of the deal.
So Kazadi in double digits now with 10 points. It's a team high. Here's Clouden. He's got a game high 15. Travis Clouden spins away, lets Kazadi go, but it rattles around and out. What a move by Clouden, but can't finish. Chisholm can't redirect it back in, and a couple opportunities for the Bruins, but they come up empty on the back end of a nifty play from Clouden.
Well, one takeaway for the Bruins, the energy there. They were really popping off on that drive. Could not get the finish, but like to see more of that from them. They're trying to head in the right direction here. Still a 16-point lead for Humber.
Here's Grant, and he turns it over with some miscommunication with Burke. Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy quarter here, Matt, for both sides. First 3.5 here. Here's Liu. Had to stop up. Good defense there from Burke. Clouden. Looking for Yakubu. He'll take it himself. Clouden. And a nifty play by Clouden as he has a few words after that for Kazadi. Got him to jump in the air and get a couple free throws.
Just a heroic effort from number 42 in blue here tonight. As you mentioned, some of the numbers he's putting up, scoring, leading his team, doing what he has to do, trying to lead the way. But the Hawks have just really put on a strong performance thus far. And despite the epic game from Clouden, still a sizable lead for the home team.
First missed free throw of the night for Clouden. It was 4 of 4 before this trip. And we'll do 1 of 2 on this one. And the lead's 15. It was 15 to begin the second half. Brady Clark didn't see a lot of action in that first half, and he turns it over. Here's Liu. He'll stop up. It's off the fingertips. And a turnover for the Bruins. Head coach Jim Flack wanted a different call. Didn't get it. Humber basketball.
Yeah, pleading with the ref, but ultimately it's just another Sheridan possession that comes up snake eyes. There's been too many of those, especially in a game where, you know, that Humber lead has been in effect for a good portion.
Lewis, but he traveled too many steps. Dragged that pivot foot there from Lucas Lewis.
You see Grant trying to, you know, build a case and put on a little demonstration for the official that was not traveling, but at any rate, it's shared ball.
Clouden looking for some help offensively. Clouden, two-man game here. It's Rose up against Grant. Rose, Clouden. The 10-foot J doesn't go, and the rebound finds Antwi on the weak side, who gets pushed away by Miller in the reach-in foul against number 11.
Just seems like that ball continues to find Clouden, but the shot there doesn't fall. So 15-point lead is where we remain.
So Desjardins checks in, Grant and Antwi check out here. Hawks looking to get the crowd going a little bit here with a couple offensive possessions here. It's been a stop and go type of third quarter. Isaiah Brady Clark over to Ndongo, can't scoop it up and in, rebound for Clouden. All over it, like you said. Travis Clouden steps away from Ndongo, cut on the inside. Doesn't go, but Travis Clouden putting out all the tricks here, and looks like he'll head to the free throw line for a couple coming up.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a tough assignment to be responsible for containing number 42 tonight. He has just been really bouncing all over the court. Kind of ironing something out here, it looks like, Kyle.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to change the foul. They, I think, originally called it on Burke, and they changed that to Ndongo. So the first foul on Ndongo here at the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. And Clouden's free throw is good.
Somebody brought a snare drum, Kyle. It's on the opposite side of the other bleachers. You might hear it again here.
Yeah, it looks like that's the Ndongo fan club. Brought out the extra
percussion. Yeah.
Here's Desjardins, good move on the inside, scoops it up and in. Leo quickly back the other way for the Bruins. Clouden, Miller, tried to spin away from Lewis, and he spun away with the ball and turns it over.
Well, not a lot of movement here score-wise. I mean, this cushion for the Hawks, pretty consistent. And you know Humber would love to just keep the Bruins frustrated, and there's certainly a fair share of that. You can see on that Bruins bench right in front of us, just that kind of night so far, trying to turn things around.
Yeah, outside of Clouden, the leading scorers, Tyrell Dennis with 4 points. So it's really been a frustrating night, like you said. And even a guy like Shakir Yakubu, I don't think we've seen him take a shot since the first quarter, where he went 1 of 7. So really, here he is now with the ball. So we'll see if he can create something. Yakubu, back to Clouden. It's a deep triple. Rolls off the top of the rim. Rebound for Ndongo. And spin away there by Brady Clark. Desjardins. Back to Ndongo at the top of the key. He'll cut inside. Nice pass to Brady Clark, but can't finish. Rebound. And a travel here. Adjoa lost his footing and then might have twisted his ankle. Matt, as he's in pain right now after the turnover. Another one of the big men here. And we might need some extra check in here on Adjoa.
Yes, he is collapsed underneath the hoop there and looks to be nursing, like you said, an ankle, lower leg.
The Bruins already lost Shadore earlier in this third quarter with an injury, and a tough break here as Adjoa also down on that play, so we'll have a timeout on the floor here with the Hawks leading by 15 with 4 minutes to go. And Matt, let's have a look at Desjardins with a strong finish.
No question. He's a guy who's checked into the game and on multiple occasions produced some strong outcomes. He's still in the game here as the Hawks during this injury timeout group up. And photographer Diego is getting a lot of camera time today.
Up and close.
Finding him.
He finds the camera as well.
Versatile young man. He's also in the snow removal business. So once wintertime rolls around, one of the best in the biz. Frequently upset with the Weather Network, my place of employment, other place of employment, for not giving him the right forecast. We'll try to do as best as we can for Diego this winter season.
I'm sure you'll have a bounce back season for Diego. Another turnover, Matt. I think I've said turnover here in this third quarter quite a few times. Be interested to see once we get that quarter stat sheet how many. So that one goes to the Hawks. Burke back into the game here with under 4 to go in the third. Swing pass, Clouden thought about a triple. He'll cut on the inside, spins away. Clouden gets it back. 5 on the shot clock. Clouden, it's Tyrell Dennis with a deep triple, and he will get fouled by DJ Burke as Dennis, for the second time tonight, Matt, will head to the line shooting 3.
Yeah, and I can't recall who the guilty party was on the previous fouled three-point shot, but at any rate, Humber has done it multiple times. Otherwise, a very strong defensive night. I mean, just even that possession alone, you saw just how tight Humber was playing defensively. I'm getting a kick out of that snare drum. Drumline action breaking out here as we get deep into the third quarter. I don't know how you get a snare drum stand and sticks into the gym. I mean,
we have security here. What's metal detector? So 12-point game. Silently, this could turn into a single-digit game here with one possession for the Bruins. And the foul is going to go against Lewis.
It's a good point, Kyle. It's not as though Humber has pulled away and established 25, 30-point lead. I mean, we saw that in the women's game with the Hawks winning by a 30-point margin, 30-plus point in the women's affair. But now we are getting a little close, so we'll see if the Bruins are able to really make this a close one. It could really sneak in here. And despite the sort of vibe of this game, it's not all that far apart.
And if you're the Bruins, that's kind of what you want right now. You're in the bonus. You got Clouden at the line. Unfortunately misses that one, but clock stops. Late in this third quarter. Sheridan right now, they're down by 12. As Clouden misses both free throws, he gets his own, but it's going to be an offensive foul. And it's going to go against Peace Wilson. But Matt, this Bruins team only down by 12 points, and their top scorer for the season, Yakubu, has 2 points in the game. So if you're head coach Jim Flack, you can find a way to get him going. This could turn into a game. And if Humber keeps turning over the ball, the Bruins are going to take advantage. Here's Yakubu. Dennis, he tried to find Yakubu up top, but good defense from Grant as he takes it back the other way. Malik. Swing past Desjardins, steps away, triple, it's good! Christian Desjardins, the transition triple, and it's a 15-point ball game.
Yeah, that's a spirit crusher right there. Just an excellent feed. He created some space for himself and nailed that 3 ball. And there's that old familiar 15-point lead for Humber right back in effect.
Big swing there as the Bruins had a chance to cut it to single digits. It's a 6-point swing as Yakubu on the inside doesn't go, gets his own rebound, lays it up and in. Matt, his first bucket since the first quarter, and he cuts the lead to 13.
Good response there from the Bruins.
Here's Lewis on the inside, plus the foul. Lucas Lewis takes the contact and puts it up and in. And he gets that bucket right back. And we've got a warning here coming to head coach Jim Flack on the Sheridan side.
Yeah, Lewis with a tenacious finish there. And we'll see if he can complete the 3-point play. So that's the 3rd personal foul for Clouden.
Clouden logging a lot of minutes here tonight. Lewis does well on the 3-point play, finishes it off. Rose on the inside. He'll scoop that up and in. Tough finish for Dyson Rose as Burke a little bit shaken up after that play. He'll stick into it though as we approach the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Ball swinging around. Desjardins. Malik Grant. Desjardins. 10 on the shot clock. Burke trying to cut on the inside, but he turns it over, slips and falls.
Yeah, tough sequence there. You mentioned it looked like he got a little banged up in the defensive side and offensively blows a tire. And Humber would love to have gotten at least a good crack at shooting it there because the Bruins did respond, and we'll see if the offensive mojo for Sheridan continues to show some bright spots here as we get late in the 3rd.
There's Francis. Triple for Rose. That one doesn't go. Clouden trying to jump for the rebound. Desjardins taps it around. Lewis will try to throw it off a body, but he stepped on the line and out of bounds. But Matt, I think if you're the Bruins right now, if you can try to cut this lead to maybe single digits, 10 at best, you're gonna feel pretty good about where you're at compared to how you've been playing the game.
And a full quarter to play ahead, right? So much time, and you can really throw everything out the window if you can get into that final frame. And like you said, just a 9-point lead. It could certainly be an interesting finish here.
Francis turns it over on the inbound. So good job by the Hawks to take away that any sort of chance there. And looks like we are in the bonus as Desjardins gets fouled, and he will go to the line. 2 shots. So both teams in bonus for the rest of the 3rd.
Desjardins came into this game without any free throws on the season. Only 8 points entering today for Desjardins, so we've seen him certainly add on to that, getting the ball rolling.
He makes good on that trip, adds to his point total for the season. Here's Billaran. Nearly turns it over, but it's going to be a kicked ball off of Desjardins. Good active defense by the Hawks as they lead by 16. Francis up against J.R. Harewood. Francis on the inside, can't scoop it up and in. But Harewood will pick up the foul, and Francis heads to the line.
It's been a drawn-out 3rd quarter. It's been foul heavy, lots of free throws. But we've kind of just coasted along through. I mean, there's been times where Sheridan has almost made it a single-digit game, but that 15, now 16-point lead for Humber has been a through line.
So Francis makes do on his 2nd. 1 of 2 from the line on that trip. 70 seconds to go. Desjardins through the timeline over to J.R. Harewood. And Desjardins has that one stripped out of the way. Billeran blocked by Desjardins. He takes it away. And here's J.R. Harewood. Transition.
Hit the
Desjardins puts it in. Defense to offense for Desjardins. And the Hawks lead by 18 here in the third.
Come on now. Major league with the stuff. And I had no doubts he was going to come back and drain that from the three-point line.
You know he wanted it. The transition triple by Desjardins got stripped. And then the big block on Billeran leads to the triple.
And for the Bruins, not happy as they thought the block was goaltending territory.
That timing was just about spot on as Desjardins gets his first block of the season. 40 seconds to go here in the third. The Hawks have ballooned their lead now. Desjardins, Harewood the triple. Doesn't go, and Dungo flies in. Can't finish, rolled off the top of the rim. And it'll be off of the Bruins, and it'll stick with the Hawks here with 14 on the shot clock. Head coach Jim Flack still having an order with the official, pretty close to the baseline. And we might get something here. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen it with head coach Jim Flack, and it will continue here as we got a technical foul on Jim Flack.
Yeah, kind of a representation of just the team-wide frustration that we've been witnessing throughout the evening as Desjardins, who kind of looks like the young fella from Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know, maybe that TV program was a little before your time, Kyle.
Trying to
play along here.
Yeah, you could say that.
Almost a 20-point lead for Humber if they can get a bucket here.
Malik. Quiet second half here from Malik Grant, but he hasn't really been needed that much as Desjardins slips on the inside. Oh my, Desjardins doing everything here tonight.
Well, the man that wears number 3 has come alive in the third quarter in a big, big way.
And he might pick up the foul here, but Christian Desjardins slipping and sliding through the defense. And he's got the crowd going here in the third quarter.
My goodness, this has been an outstanding individual contribution here.
Desjardins, he's one of those guys where he'll always be active defensively no matter how he's playing offensively. But he can have these games where he has these moments and has these runs. And maybe another chance. 5 seconds on the game clock. Grant, J.R. Harewood, he'll put up a long three. It's good at the buzzer. J.R. Harewood caps off a fantastic third quarter here at the Hawks Nest, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Hawks. They lead by 21 after 3.
Wow, what a sequence to finish up the third. The rivalry matchup, and just about everybody seems to come out to watch this one at the Hawks Nest. You see in the background of this shot some former Humber players, and on the other side it's just a different tempo with frustration really ruling the night. But for Humber, electricity has more so been the big factor in this second half.
And Matt, let's have another look. Just J.R. Harewood at the buzzer. Christian Desjardins with a huge third quarter. And Matt, it started on the defensive side of the ball for number 3. and defense into offense for Christian Desjardins. Matt, 13 points in the quarter for number 3. Christian Desjardins on fire in that third quarter, including 3 triples for the game and a team high 16 points for number 3.
We've had a stat correction. We were looking at Sheridan with 1 3-pointer made, and that's been corrected. So Sheridan officially 0 for 13 from beyond the arc. And again, something you just would not expect from a team who is number 2 in 3-point percentage shooting. And there's the Humber huddle, and it has just been an outstanding night. And despite 17 points from Travis Clouden on the Sheridan side, the only Bruin in double-digit scoring, that has been matched up by 16 points from Christian Desjardins. His team-high effort there, and also contributing double-digit scoring with 10 points, Benny Kazadi. But, I mean, that really jumps off the page. Desjardins, 75% on his free throws. That's 3 for 4. He's made 3 for 3 at the free throw line. My goodness.
Huge third quarter for Christian Desjardins.
Had a block in there as well.
Woo! You can add one there for Ndongo. Flies in the athleticism. And the one block you mentioned it for Desjardins led to the crowd getting going in the transition triple.
Well, remember when Sam Mitchell did the 0-0-0 stat line thing? Desjardins the opposite of that right now. He seems to have just about a stat in every category except offensive rebound.
And it's Yakubu on the inside. 6 points, or rather 8 now for Yakubu. Graham with a lot of contact. Louis with some contact, and he will get a call and head to the line. Head coach Jim Flack still in the ear of the official even after the technical foul. As the Louis' first free throw doesn't go. You can see their head coach Jim Flack is not holding up. It's been a frustrating night for the Bruins since the very beginning. As Louis makes do of his second. And now Billy Rand will bring it across the timeline here in the fourth quarter. As Billy Rand will put that one up. Looks like they're giving him some free throws, and they will. So Billy Rand will head to the line, Matt, for the second trip for number 6.
Well, there's been times where it looked like Humber's lead was in jeopardy of really getting sort of stretched a little thin. But 20 points, the margin right now. We'll see if Humber can hang on to that comfortable bit of separation. Or perhaps not, but ultimately it's been a night that the Hawks will hope ends in a W, and for the Bruins so far, a night they probably just want to forget, especially considering how strong they started their season, and the only loss Bruins had coming into tonight, just a narrow loss by 3 points to one of the top-ranked teams in the province. But right now, the top-ranked team in the nation is putting on a bit of a clinic.
And Antwi gets hammered by Billaran.
Yeah, well, Antwi is somebody who seems to have a unlimited pain tolerance. The way that he will throw himself around on an average night here in his Hawks uniform is something to watch, and no surprise he's bounced right back up and he's got the ball in hand.
Not afraid of contact. Here's Grant. Antwi right back inside, but can't finish. Not happy with himself. Thought he should have finished that one off. Here's Clouden. Yakubu for the 3. Another short one for Yakubu. Rebound for Ndongo for Grant, and he gets wrapped by Francis, who will pick up the fouls. A couple hard fouls from the Bruins, back-to-back plays.
I saw Grant was hoping he just was able to get a lane towards the hoop, but yeah, he's fouled, slowing the play down. And 18-point difference with Antwi getting the ball to Grant.
So Francis will have a seat. Here's Clouden. Miller, back to Clouden. Billerand in front of Grant, steps away, tries to cut on the inside. Good defense from Grant. Here's a long three, too strong, and Louis flies into the rebound. And Dongo had it stripped by Miller, and it's tapped around. Looked like that might have went off Clouden. No, it goes off of a Louis. And it will stay with Sheridan. So 14 on the shot clock. Hawks leading by 18 now. Here's a chance, no good once again. Off the hand there of Noah Lopez.
Yeah, it'll stay Sheridan ball here.
Lopez firing on back-to-back possessions. Here's Clouden off the inbound. Aluyu gets up there with a long reach and snatches it out of the air. Here's Ndongo quickly back the other way and lays it up and in.
Big finish and quick. The three-pointer from the Bruins. Kyle, they are now 0 for 18 from beyond the arc. Getting a little bad luck are the Hawks off their own rim.
Really a tremendous stat. I mean, you said it, 0 of 18.
And again, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but if they were a middle-of-the-road three-point shooting team, then, you know, but for, again, from one of the best in the OCAA in this, albeit young season, only 4 games in, just have not been dialed in whatsoever.
And Billerand will add to that one, another miss from distance. And Matt, you think if they have maybe 4 or 5 of those three-pointers, this could be a completely different game. But yeah, it just hasn't been able to fall from distance. Good move by Grant. A lot of contact. Didn't get a call. And the rebound finds Billerand back the other way. Spins away from Antwi on the inside, but a traveling call. A lot of moves there by Billerand, but he'll get caught with a travel.
He's pleading his case. Putting, again, the little demonstration for the official. But yeah, a call the Bruins are not happy with, and a chance for Humber to just maybe bleed some clock, get a nice high percentage chance, and add to their lead.
Louis up top to Antwi with 10 on the shot clock. He'll spin away on the inside. Oh my, are you kidding? What a finish by Antwi through the contact.
Yeah, the spin, just the explosion.
An offensive foul. It's DJ Burke doing it on both ends, takes his second charge of the game, and it's gonna go against Miller.
How about that play from Antwi? That's just vintage from that young man. And hey, sometimes he'll burst on the scene like that and there'll be big contact. Other times he's able to just kind of slink through and get the finish like that.
That's what he does best when he's going downhill. And a really nice finish from Antwi.
Yeah, kind of Houdini'd his way through a couple of Bruins defenders that time.
Grant tried to get over Clouden, and Clouden gets hammered. That'll be the second team foul on the Hawks. It's been a quiet night offensively for Grant. Only 7 points, but he's had a few huge games already here this season. So no problem for Grant as his teammates have picked him up here tonight as Clouden steps away from Louis. Tough shot, doesn't go. Rebound flying in as Burke. Here's Antwi. Over to Grant. A triple, it's good. As he looks up to the sky as Malik Grant gets up to double digits. He's got 10. Yakubu on the inside, another traveling call and another turnover for the Bruins.
And Humber now shooting 44% from downtown, 8 for 18. And you can look at just that aspect of the game, which we kind of highlighted off the top. strength of both teams coming in, or those shots from downtown. Only one team has been converting on them so far, and a good finish in tight there from Aluyi.
Aluyi found some space. The Hawks lead continues to grow. It is 27, their largest of the game. Here's Clouden. Out of the fingertips there. Clouden is turning around to his bench here, and the ball gets turned over. Here's Antwi through the contact, plus the foul. That's Kwabena Antwi. Matt might have just put a cap on this one, as the lead is 29 here on the finish by Antwi.
He hit the flex on the tail end of that play, and just another outstanding play from that young man. And yes, why not add another point on if he can drain this free throw.
Desjardins had his moments in the third, and it's Antwi who's blown this one open here in the fourth. And Clouden called for the early exit for himself as he heads to the bench, the leading scorer for the Bruins. And Jim Flack might be waving the white towel here, Matt, with most of his starters on the bench. And a foul. Hawks didn't like it. Tyrell Dennis up against Burke.
That time it's Sheridan Bruins who will be charged with the foul. It's Burke.
Wilson there with the moving screen.
Yeah, Burke kind of took the business end of that collision, but he's back up on his feet and he'll check out. Timothy Morant in the game for Humber.
Austin Jackson, first-year man, in as well. We saw him earlier. And traveling call going against Amari Anderson.
Yeah, lineup right now, only one familiar face compared to last year in Antwi.
And now he'll come out, and Desjardins, a little bit of an ovation as he checks back in.
Yeah, I think Desjardins, a pretty strong contender for our player of the game.
Yeah, stay tuned for that with Zach Benoit at the conclusion of this one. Here's Miller on the inside. He'll spin away. Tough right-hand hook. That one doesn't go, and the rebound for Morant. Desjardins thought about it. He'll come the inside. Swing pass over to Jackson, the triple. Doesn't go. Rebound for Anderson. Desjardins. Jackson. Here's Anderson. Doesn't go, and the rebound on the weak side there. Scooped up by Wilson. Quickly ahead. Here's Miller up against Jackson, and he can't finish. Been a rough night for a lot of these Bruins offensively. Matt, you've touched upon the struggles from distance. And Cole Miller right now is 1 of 10 from the field. So he will check out. Billerand comes back in. And Amari Anderson at the line with 4:45 to go.
Yes, sir.
Here in the fourth.
So we've had 2 games on the Hawk Sports Network tonight. The women's teams of these 2 schools were in action, and Humber won that by about 30 points. And now in the men's game, Humber leading by about 30 points. So we'll see if the end result is as quite on par with what we had in game 1.
Here's Dennis, the triple. It's long. Rebound finds Rose. Back to Billerand. Back on the inside. Billerand can't finish, but he'll head to the line once again. Aljan Billerand, third-year man. Nice little player for the Bruins, averaging 8 points per game. Nifty player on the inside, and he finishes off that free throw.
Well, you know, Kyle, turnovers have been certainly, we're seeing them from both teams. 23 from Humber and 21 turnovers by Sheridan. The difference I'm seeing, Kyle, is points off of turnovers. Humber has 26 compared to Sheridan's 9. And again, I think the shooting percentage for Humber, a big part of that disparity. They're making shots, and Sheridan just is not.
And a foul on Billaran. And not a recipe for success when you turn over the ball and you're not making shots. And the three-point shooting numbers that you've touched on throughout the game have really been staggering for the Bruins.
Yeah, sitting at 0 for 19 right now from beyond the arc.
Ball's tapped around. Finds Dennis. Good defense from Desjardins to cut him off. Back on the inside. And it's going to be a foul here. It'll be on a push and 2 shots coming up with both teams now in the bonus for the rest of this one. Tyrell Dennis to the line. So Desjardins checks out. Could be for the final time tonight. And what a third quarter he had where he put up 13 points alone in the quarter. 16 for the game for Christian. As Dennis 2 for 2 on the trip. Closing minutes here of this one as the Hawks are in full control and well in control to moving that win streak to start the year. As a nice move on the inside. Kazadi with a nice finish.
Yeah, strong, making his way into the paint. And the finish, no doubt about it.
Rose the jumper, no good. Kazadi quickly ahead. And can't finish there was Jackson Anderson with the rebound. And it's Kazadi who will pick up the loose ball and put it in, plus the contact. Back-to-back possessions with a bucket for Kazadi. And a nice, quiet game for Kazadi, up to 16.
Yeah, the Humber Hawks just continue their march towards the century mark here.
Kazadi can't finish up that three-point play. Billaran from the top of the key, doesn't go. Rebound for Jackson, quickly ahead for Timothy Morant. Moran, no look pass inside. Anderson had that one stripped away, and here's Billaran. A lot of moving parts there right in the middle. And Dennis will slow it down with just over 3 minutes to go. Dennis steps away from Moran. The triple doesn't go. And still seeking that first one of the night from distance. Coming up empty. Oh, and some sloppy, almost a turnover there. And Matt, we're gonna get a late timeout here from Humber with just under 3 minutes to go. And I'd say in full control and well on their way to improving to 4-0 to begin the season.
No question, as it looks like the Hawks have done enough and really setting the tone early. I mean, right from the get-go, it was no secret the Sheridan offensive woes. I mean, it was on display. Humber certainly at times has, you know, had their share of turnovers and miscues, but they have made the shots they've needed to. You talk about both teams have shot 23-pointers respectively. Humber converting 8 of those, so you take those 24 points from beyond the arc and, you know, just kind of do the equation, and, you know, that's kind of telling the story. 31-point difference right now.
All right, so in the closing marks here of this one, Hawks just trying to cap this one without any bad things happening. As a nice finish on the inside. Isaiah Brady Clark started in this one and comes up with a nice bucket there. 2.5 here in the fourth. On the inside, another potential turnover. Bruins actually get it back. Dennis thinking about it. The three, he'll try to cut on the inside. A lot of contact and turned away on the inside by Amari Anderson. The big man throws it away.
Goodness, he really got a hand on that thing. I mean, the Bruins will get second chance here with 5 seconds on the shot clock. That was a major league stuff.
Got to put something up, and that's another missed three, this time by Dennis, that spilled off the rim. Here's Jackson cutting on the inside with contact. It spilled off the rim, and Dennis will take it back the other way. Dennis steps away. Oh, nice move to get Jackson up in the air, but can't finish. And flying in to take it away was Waite. Here's a three ball by Kazadi, is off the mark. And the rebound will find Kazadi back into his hands. 1-on-1 against Dennis. Kazadi, the big man on the inside. Oh, it's turned away by Peace Wilson. Here come the Bruins. 1:40 to go. And a nifty finish on the inside by Dyson Rose. Triple chance here, doesn't go, and rebound will find the Bruins. The next time these two teams will face off, as that long triple is off the mark, will be later on this season. It'll be February 11th. Not the last game of the year, as that three-pointer is good from Timothy Morant. So the Bruins will have an opportunity to redeem themselves against the Hawks, but they'll have to wait a while. As Matt, we just saw our first three-pointer of the game for the Bruins, and it comes with a minute to go.
Yeah, on a night where it just seems like they were snake bit from long range, able to get one, and certainly, Kyle, try to put this game in the rearview mirror for Sheridan, as it's really not quite in line with some of the other performances. Another big stuff by the Hawks, but the Bruins were there to scoop it up.
Yeah, Waite with a big block, but didn't get some help on the back end of that. Morant will dribble this out here. 40 seconds to go. Start to finish performance from the Hawks on the defensive side of the ball, and then the offense picked up as the game goes on. A triple from Kazadi. Matt, I know Desjardins had that big third quarter, but Kazadi has had a huge game offensively, his best of the season, as that one scooped up and in by Dennis with 20 seconds to go. So Dennis will head to the line at least one more time. But Matt, you can go Desjardins, you can go Kazadi. What do you like? What's your prediction here? Who's going to be talking to Mr. Benoit after the game?
Yeah, you're talking Desjardins with 16 points, Kazadi with 17, so just nooging him out of that top spot. You know, I think it's a toss-up. I think both young men have had an outstanding performance, leading the way offensively for the Hawks here. You got three other Hawks in double digits, Antwi, Aluyi, and Grant, all with 11, 11, and 10 points apiece.
And that's
and
it.
Enough to do it.
They'll dribble it out. Clock expires. And the Hawks defeat the Bruins 96-66. A rivalry indeed, but a one-sided affair as the Hawks win this one by 30 points here on this Wednesday night and cap off an excellent evening in grand fashion as they will improve to 4-0 on the season. The Bruins fall to 2-2. They move to 500. And the Hawks' undefeated season continue. Matt, they haven't lost a regular season home game since November 2023, and that'll continue here after tonight's win.
My goodness, and for Humber, yes, the 4-0 record.
Matt, our player of the game. And there you go, the big third quarter, number 3, 3-3, Christian Desjardins.
Yeah, and he'll talk to the third member of our commentary crew, Zach Benoit, in just a moment. But what a night for Humber in the rivalry matchup. And we had sometimes not the typical heroes stepping up, but Desjardins with a outstanding performance. And as his OCAA career gets deeper and deeper, we've been seeing just more and more great plays out of him.
Yep.
And yeah, the Hawks giving their robust home crowd a round of applause.
Christian Desjardins with a huge performance here tonight, his best performance of the season, 4 games into it. And a very efficient night for Christian Desjardins. 3 of 4 from 3, including 5 of 8 from the field, and perfect from the free throw line was Christian Desjardins.
Well, what a night, and we will see the Humber Hawks back in action. Well, it's going to be on Saturday back here in their home barn against Canadore.
So Christian Desjardins, player of the game, 16 points, and a huge third quarter for number 3. And here he is now with Zach Benoit.
Thank you, guys. Here with the player of the game, Christian Desjardins. Christian, you were lights out from beyond the arc, but also have maybe the loudest block of the season so far. How you feeling after that one?
Good. I'm just glad we got the win.
You know, you look at the team so far, 4-0. Obviously, last year in the OCAA finals, you guys had a little bit of a scuffle against Durham. You were able to answer that back. How you guys feeling starting off 4-0 this year?
Feels good, but you know the job's not done. We have one goal. Not satisfied till that's done.
As you know, it gets very loud here in the Hawks Nest with the fans. You know, what's one message you want to send all the fans, you know, watching at home, come out to support you guys day in and day out?
I mean, we love our fans. It gives us the energy to go. Like, you know, it's fun in here. It makes it fun. So we love them, and let's go. We're trying to win it all this year again.
Christian, thank you. Congrats again on player of the game, man. Have a good rest of the season. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you, Christian Desjardins, a big part of tonight's win as the Hawks improve to 4-0 on this season and win this one by a score of 96-66. My broadcast partner, Matthew Hamill, and everybody behind the scenes, we thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.